Hey, good morning, friends. Happy Sunday. Let's get started here. There's not a lot of news to cover, just some little nuggets I want to share with you, little key points. So, as of yesterday, the largest bloc, the framework, announced that Nuri al-Maliki will be their selection and choice for the prime minister. So again, let's just look at this right here. So right here, the framework has announced that Nuri al-Maliki is going to be their selection and choice for the framework. And then they've set next Tuesday as the day that Parliament will vote on the president of the country, okay? And they have 19 candidates that are competing for that position again next Tuesday. Now, here's what we're looking to see. After the president's done, per the Constitution, they have 45 days to complete the prime minister and his cabinet, okay? We need to see who the selection of the prime minister is and how fast the prime minister gets in there. It's that simple. If they do a final announcement with the prime minister next Tuesday, the government can get formed. Possibly, and they could possibly have the government done during the second half of February. Okay, that's the wild card in this. We've got to see who the prime minister is and how fast they get him in. Will it be Sudani? Will it be Nuri al-Maliki? Again, right now, the selection is Nuri al-Maliki. We've got to see, though. We've got to see what happens on this. That's the wild card because, again, the prime minister position gets 45 days to be announced and put in, and then the appointed or selected nominated prime minister has 30 days to complete the formation of his cabinet, okay? So if they take the full 45 days, that could drag this into March. If they announce the president the same day that they complete, if they announce the prime minister the same day they complete the president, that could trim 15 days off and have a formed, completed government in the second half of February. So we've got to see on this to see how long the government's going to take, okay? Just going through that with you guys. And here's the thing, though. There's some little twists and turns and complications in this. The coordination framework announces the nomination of Nuri al-Maliki for the position of prime minister. But right here, al-Habussi and al-Kanjar violated the Sunni Political Council Agreement. Okay. Today's Sunday, the statement issued by Muhammad al-Habussi and Kanjar in the name of the Political Council regarding its position on the coordination framework's nomination of Nuri al-Maliki, head of state, for the position of the prime minister constitutes a departure from the agreement upon which the council was founded. This agreement stipulates that no decision can be issued except by a consensus of its members and so forth. So there you go. There's already some complications regarding how Maliki was chosen and announced as being the nominated prime minister. So again, we've got to see how Tuesday plays out. Do they announce a prime minister that exact same day? Okay, just a little side piece. That's why I've been saying in the news, be careful on believing all of this. Okay, they're not going to bring you the truth of the status of a prime minister really more until the day of the presidential vote in Parliament. It's that simple. So again, we don't know if Maliki's officially got this or not. Again, there's some little complications coming forward right now that could throw this thing sideways. We have to see how this all plays out. Just wait until next Tuesday, the day that they vote on the president, and we'll see how this plays out. Now, another thing I want you to consider into this, though. Maliki was one of the most corrupt politicians they've ever had, along with inhumane. Okay, if Maliki becomes the prime minister and he's the prime minister that walks Iraq back and returns them back to the world stage, what that could portray Iraq as a very unstable nation for foreign investment and so forth. Okay, I brought some of that data forward here. Let's look at that. I just wanted you to realize this. says among Iraqis and international observers, Nuri al-Maliki is one of the most polarizing prime ministers the country's ever had. Whether he's the most corrupt or inhumane depends on who you ask. But there is no question his 2 terms from 06 to 14 are associated with some of the darkest chapters in post-2003 Iraq, okay? Systemic corruption under his governance. Iraq's global corruption rankings deteriorated under his tenure, and large ministries, defense, interior, electricity became synonymous with ghost employees. So again, that's when they brought ghost employees, means they were getting double paychecks or invalid paychecks. They were paying people that didn't even exist. Fake people were collecting paychecks, okay? Again, I hope you guys understand Nuri al-Maliki's wealth. He's worth over 50 billion US dollars because of the amount of corruption that he portrayed within the country of Iraq, okay? Authoritarian consolidation of his power. Maliki's centralized authority in the prime minister's office weakened independent institutions, sideline rivals, and used the judiciary and security services against political opponents. Many Iraqis still associate him with the erosion of democratic norms. Sectarian governance. His policies alienated large segments of the Sunni population. Again, Sunnis are not really a fan of him. That's why, like you witnessed this morning, the Sunnis, or actions of the Sunnis, are opposing his nomination. You witnessed that in this morning's news, especially after 2010. Arrest campaigns, marginalization of Sunni leaders, and heavy-handed security response deepened communal divides. The collapse of Mosul in 2014, human rights concerns right here, okay? For many Iraqis, especially Sunnis and protest movements, Maliki symbolizes the entrenchment of corruption, the rise of sectarian politics, the hollowing out of the state, the conditions that allowed ISIS to emerge. At this time, his supporters argue that he held the state together during the Civil War. He resisted fragmentation. He confronted militias at times in Basra. He represents strong central authority in a weak system. See, that's what a dictator does, is strong authority in a weak system. Okay? Again, that's like a dictator. He is not universally regarded as the most corrupt and inhumane, but he is widely viewed inside Iraq and abroad as one of the most damaging prime ministers, in post-war 2003 era, who ruled deepened corruption, authoritarianism, sectarian division, and institutional collapse. That is why his possible returns generate such intense resistance, and why for many Iraqis, it feels like reopening a wound that never fully healed. So again, he represents instability and corruption. And if he is the prime minister that returns Iraq back to the world stage after the government's formed, the perception of Iraq could be unstable. Okay? So something to think about, along with, and they might not be attracting lots of foreign investment and so forth. Again, because he represents instability and corruption. So just wanted you guys to see that he would not be, it would be not be a wise choice for Iraqi politicians to allow Nuri al-Maliki to return the country of Iraq back to the world stage. Just wanted you to see that, okay? But again, don't just assume that he's the prime minister right now. Give this a chance to play out until Monday, because as you see, there's a large Sunni division as to what I just showed you guys in this morning's news. Friends, you're the best. Thank you for joining. Have a great day. Take care.